Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of Oakwood Harbor. I wanted to jump in today to make a personal comment and also give you some new information that will help you to understand what's happening and why. For a long time, I've been telling you this area is growing, and I finally located an article as well as some other paperwork that I'll be showing you on the slides that will explain to you why all these property purchases have gone up and why no one is doing anything to help OWH get ahead. Basically, it's a pain situation. They're going to put you in as much pain as possible because this area is about to explode. I'm going to put the article underneath this video so that you can see it for yourself. But this article was posted on the 2nd of February by the Democrat. Jerry Fink was the reporter. I'm going to read you just a clip, and then I'm going to show you the slides, and we'll go back from there. The agreements include the Eufaula Cove Marina, Beaver's Bar and Grill, Jellystone Park, Cat Daddy's Cove Bar and Restaurant. Henry said that he will spend about $9.5 million on remodeling, renovating, and other improvements to the area. This is just the beginning, he said. It will be a never-ending project for us. I'm going to show you a couple of slides, and I'm going to dig into this just a little bit more for you so that you understand exactly why your property is going to become a golden goose, and that's why these things are happening. And let me start off by saying today's episode of As the HOA Turns is all my opinion, but it's backed up by facts, it's backed up by paperwork, and I hope you take this seriously because you need to hang on to your property no matter what. Okay, the first three slides that I showed you were from the Oklahoma Tax Commission, who has recently taken over the tax collection because it's become such a big job for Eufaula. And they've raised the tax there to 9%. This is what happens when an area starts to build and get bigger, and tax rates go up accordingly, and because of all the infrastructure that needs to be built. And also, too, the first slide was of the actual article that I just quoted from. And again, I'm going to post that article so that you can read it yourself and see exactly what was said. But the bottom line is that they have been doing this since Xtreme RV Resort was purchased and built originally. And even Mr. Henry himself said that he had no idea that it would blossom into what it has. He had just thought about building the Xtreme RV Resort, and that was it. And then all of a sudden other opportunities became available to him. Now this is really good information and good news for the Eufaula or Shakota area, because this means that there'll be more jobs, whether or not it's in the building stages or the year-round maintenance of the facilities that he's building. And again, job growth is good, but what a lot of people don't realize is Shakota is in the crosshairs. If you come from the east or you come from the west, you do it on I-40 and you take a right and you head down to Eufaula. That's going to make Shakota a very popular area, and this HOA in particular is going to be a very popular area because if you're driving down here with your Prevost, which is the Cadillac of RVs, and you want to stay at our Xtreme RV Resort but they're booked up, guess where they're going to be looking next? Maybe you're just smart enough to say, I don't want to spend camping money every week, so I think I'll buy me a lot in Oakwood Harbor, and I'll park my camper there. So you can see where I'm going with this. And again, read that article because it's very, very relevant to what's going on. I'm going to show you a couple more slides and we'll dig into that a little bit. So hang on. Okay, as you can see, the very first one was a Google map to let you see what I'm talking about. From the north, south, or the north, east, or west, if you're trying to get to Eufaula, you're going to be going through Shakota. The second tile that I had showed you is basically the registration with the Secretary of State for the nonprofit organization, which is Oakwood Harbor. It has not been updated till 2005. I just recently requested the full records for it, and hopefully I'll get those in the next couple of days to see whether or not they just neglected to update the contact information since 2005, or if there's anything else that needs to be found out, like if the fees haven't been paid or the proper paperwork hasn't been filed. And of course, the third slide is Robin Foster pointing out that David unjustly accused Dawn of taking some scrap metal and bringing it to town and selling it. Now, since then, he's apologized, from what I've heard anyways, to Dawn for the mistake, because it wasn't him, or it wasn't her. The point is, what I'm gonna kind of just wrap this up quickly, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. This is an opinion piece, again. But in my opinion, I've seen this happen before in other HOAs and other development areas. When the development starts to take off, they try and buy up the property around the area so that it'll be worth something. And I promise you, whether you stay with the HOA or you face dissolution of the HOA, you're sitting on a golden egg. Either way. Now, dissolution is very difficult the longer that the HOA has existed. It can be from 51% vote to 80% vote to as much as 100% vote. They will have to bring it to an owners meeting to dissolve the HOA. But one of the underlying truths about dissolution of an HOA is when they go bankrupt. Now, as you have all seen in my previous videos and the information that I've given you, we haven't passed an audit in so long. Like I said, Marty was accused of embezzling $89,000 back in between 2010 and 2020. They're still missing receipts. These are all things that'll get you into the right position to bring this to a judge. And I also want to assure you that the dissolution of an HOA is not as easy as everybody thinks. The state may at that point decide to bring in a person and run the HOA and the basic function of the HOA until they get back on their feet. They're basically going to try to do everything that they can. Now, on the other hand, the court may be influenced because of the developments that are happening in Eufaula and the strategic location that Shakota becomes. Either way, make sure that your assessments are paid. Do whatever it takes to hang on to your property. Don't go tuck-tailing and running, because this is exactly what they want. I did a little extra digging last night because some names kept popping up, and thanks to all of you who have been sending me private emails and giving me more information, I found that not only has David got a very good stake in what's going on, and I've already showed you, he now has waterfront property with a dock that just happens to be across the street from all of this $9.5 million worth of improvements that are going to be happening in Eufaula. But he's also bought up several properties under his children. I'm not going to go into names on it. I have all the deeds to prove what I'm saying. But there have been lots that have been purchased. And as a matter of fact, I will give you one example. One of those family members went to buy a piece of property around the same time, December of 2020, and brought it back to Shakota, and in the same day, all of this transpired on 12/22 of 2020, which oddly enough is very close to the time that David had done the survey on his property and also acquired the land that gives him the boat ramp at undervalue. This all occurred on the same day, but one of the family members went up there and bought a piece of property, brought it back to Eufaula, and in the same day, or brought it back to Shakota, and in the same day transferred that to Jerry Strain. So the purchase price was $700 from the individual that went to go and get the title or quitclaim deed, and then charged $1,000 to Jerry. But either way, he got a piece of the action too, in my opinion. And again, this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to build a legal case here. I'm trying to get you to see why all of this garbage is starting to happen right now, because Xtreme RV Resort has started to grow, and they're putting in $9.5 million to make it bigger. The road has been widened, and this is no longer a fantasy. If you just simply read the article, please, after you watch the video, read the article that I'm about to post, and it will show you why we are sitting right on the doorway to Eufaula, and why these things are happening. Now, whoever's got a vested interest in it, whether or not they're a trustee that recently resigned or stepped down, president that stepped down and became a trustee, there's something that's going on there that makes it a clear conflict of interest. And I wanted you all to know this because it's important. You need to know this because you need to hang on to your properties. Please stop talking about this let the county take over thing, because this is not what you think it is, number one. Number two, it's very difficult to dissolve an HOA. Do the research yourself, check HOA law. If necessary, make an appointment with Ryan Ferguson, the attorney that I've been dealing with, and sit down and and talk to him and see just how simple it is to let an HOA go belly up and then try to dissolve it, because it's not simple. What is simple is for you to clean up your lots, for sure, for you to try and make whatever improvements that you can, and to hang on to those lots with all of your might, because they're going to be worth an awful lot of money in the 1 to 5 year projection that Eufaula and Mr. Henry have predicted, that this will become a year-round tourist attraction. On the bottom of the article, again, you got to read it yourself. You can't just trust what I'm telling you. But on the bottom of the article, he says flat out that it'll increase revenue for all of our businesses and increase sales tax revenue. It is a major development that could bring in industry and provide jobs for our young people. It will be a drawing card for more people to come here, and once they get here, there'll be more things for them to do. It all fits together. By the way, that quote was from Mayor James Duty. But the whole thing I'm trying to explain to you is there's a 1 to 5 year projection plan here. There's a lot of money at stake, and some people have been using their inside information to acquire these properties because they have never been offered to you. As a trusteeship and as an HOA, they were supposed to put it on the table and let whoever lives here already have a first bid at it, the owners to have a first shot at it. Whether or not that's a silent auction, whether or not that's a flat auction, a flat price, whatever the case may be, it should have been brought to the owners first. It was not, and these purchases are being made. Some of them are legitimate. You can look up the landowner and say, hey, you want to sell your property? And they do, and you're done. But a lot of this stuff is information that shouldn't be abused or mistreated. And again, this is my opinion. It's not a legal opinion. By all means, get in touch with Attorney Ferguson if you have any legal questions. But I wanted you to know what's going on. Shakota is about to become the doorway to Eufaula, and as I quoted from the article, it's a $9.5 million investment at this point, and much more to come in the next 1 to 5 years. So thanks for watching, and read the article, and if necessary, get in touch with the with Eufaula like I did, and get a copy of their minutes of the meeting and see their projections, and just go from there. And I hope this helps you.